Oh, the boomers, the boomers. So yeah, so we're not prepared for the boomers. I mean, currently there are 10,000 people turning 65 every day. 6,000 of those people are retiring. So by the year 2030, we'll have over 74 million people over the age of 65. And is the country prepared for that? I don't think so.
They call it the silver tsunami, and it is coming.
And of course, the numbers of elderly is growing year after year. We keep talking about how we have advanced our average lifespan, from the late 70s now to, or from originally in the 60s to the late 70s and into the 80s. People live, it's commonplace for people to be living into their 90s and over 100 now.
Their Social Security income is often targeted because it's the one stable form of income in the community, in the household. And so we must be vigilant. There are grandparent scams, there are IRS rebate scams. We hear from our partners on the field on a regular basis that every day there's a new scam created.
Unfortunately, that is what happens, is that scammers know where the resources are. They know how to focus on this, and so there's a real challenge here for us to help seniors protect themselves, to understand what the risks are, to take the actions that are needed in order to protect those very important assets.
Unfortunately, financial elder abuse is probably one of the largest growing crimes in our country. It's a crime that is not getting the attention it deserves. And it is also a crime that is not reported as often as it should be by the victims or by family members who become aware of it.
I thought I was too smart to be scammed, but it doesn't work that way. They caught me, and I have worried and worried myself about it.
She was crying her heart out, and I said, can I help you, honey? And she said, my children just cleaned out my bank account. And I said, how much? She said, 100 and some thousand.
I just really hate these people. I don't know how else to say it, I just don't know how they lay their head down at night.
They're very good at figuring out how much money you have. How much you have in your retirement account, how much your house is worth, how much your vehicle's worth. They are going to continue to call until they have drained you of every penny.
My father was Jack Liebarker. He died just a few months ago, but he was a victim of a scam.
I just think these people kept calling him and promising him $1 million, and he kept telling me, I'm going to make money.
And they kept calling.
And they kept calling, and it never stopped. It was just constant. Every time I was here, the phone was ringing all the time.
The problem, of course, with that is, in many ways, people sometimes lose their faculties, become vulnerable, and run out of money. One of the sources of money for people, many people, has been the equity in their homes.
99% of these people have not already paid for their homes because they got caught up in the predatory lending, so they borrowed money on their homes. So a lot of the seniors, they're just sitting here waiting to be put out because there's no hope.
Many generations had worked and struggled and labored to get to the point where they owned their homes. To take that value away from that family is stealing from not just that person, but from their parents and their grandparents and their great-grandparents, through the entire struggle of this country.
If you're going to scam somebody, or if you're going to go in there and do what you do, you got to make up the rules as you go along. And now this is what we have from everybody playing games. We have a devastated community. That's what we have.
When I had to face it, that my bank that I trusted was ripping me off for 5 years, I got awake. I was like, what the heck is going on here, and that they're doing this, and that they planned this, you know. And I had never told my kids about it. I never told anybody about it. I just, you just don't worry other people about your finances.
There's an incredible shame about having financial difficulties. Most of us have a sense that if we can't make ends meet, it's because we've done something wrong. It's because we haven't been watching our money, we haven't balanced our checkbook, we're irresponsible, okay? That sort of internalized shame really stops a lot of us from even asking the question, is what they're doing fair? Do they have responsibility in this?
That was his biggest fear. And I think maybe that was part of it too. He wanted to have enough money that he would never have to worry about a nursing home.
I feel that if we can just prevent one person from being financially abused, just one person, it was worth going out and talking to thousands.
Most Americans don't realize what's happening to our elders, the awful treatment and abuse that has occurred, the stripping of wealth, the creation of deep and widespread fear on the part of many seniors.